Today's episode, using Roots Ireland to find Irish vital records. Hi, and welcome to another edition of Madonna Genealogy. I am Madonna, and today's episode is dedicated to those of you that are researching family that lived in the beautiful Emerald Isle, Ireland. I will be using a subscription-based website that's called Roots Ireland in order to research and find information, basic information, birth, baptism, marriage, and death records. So hopefully you're ready because we're going to get started. As you can see, I have already opened the website for Roots Ireland. The URL is right here, RootsIreland.ie. As I told you before, it is a subscription-based website, so you have to have a subscription in order to do the search. So today I'm going to be looking for vital records. Those are baptismal birth records, marriage or burial death records for a specific gentleman. His last name is Jennings. First name is Martin. I have some basic information that I have received from the descendants. And basically what I know, he was born around 1840. I also know that in 1901, during the census, he was living in Roscommon. I also know that he was married 2 times. I know the name of his second wife because she is in that census, but I do not know the name of the first wife. I do know, though, a little piece of information that her last name, the first wife's last name, was Jennings. So we had a Jennings marrying a Jennings. Okay. The other thing, if you don't know the county where your Irish ancestor was born, married, died, if you don't know the county or counties, there's a couple of things that you can do. One thing you can do, if you had your DNA tested, you can check your DNA ethnicity estimate for Ireland, and oftentimes it will give you a list of counties where your DNA originates from. So in this case, the descendants have found that the counties that are listed are Roscommon, Mayo, and Galway. I know that Roscommon is accurate because, again, in 1901, Martin Jennings is living in Roscommon. So I'd like to find Martin's baptismal record. I'd like to find that marriage record for the first wife and possibly his burial death record. It has to be after 1901 because I know he was alive in 1901. So I'm going to start by looking at the marriage record, which sounds a little backwards, but the reason I'm doing that is because in these Irish records, you will often find, especially for the marriage records, you will often find the names of the parents of the bride and the groom. Not all of them, but some of them do have the parents' names. And since I don't know Martin's father and mother's name, in order to look and verify whether the baptismal record is accurate, I'd like to find out, if possible, if the marriage record would show that. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and search. I've got Martin Jennings' name. It's asking for a year. I don't know what year that first marriage took place. I have some ideas because he has a daughter who was born, and off the top of my head, I don't remember the year that she was born, but I know that the marriage has to obviously take place before this girl was born. So I'm going to go ahead and click View in order to find this information. It's asking me to write it in again, so I will do so. I'm looking for Jennings, Martin. His spouse's last name was Jennings. Again, I'm looking for the name of the first spouse. And he lived in Roscommon, but the DNA estimate for the descendants says Roscommon, Mayo, and Galway. So I'm going to enter for those 3 counties. If I did not have any idea, I could select all and look at all the records for a Martin Jennings whose spouse's last name was Jennings. Again, I don't know the year, so I'm not even going to bother to enter anything there. Just so you know, many times I've come into this website and typed in some names and nothing pops up. And then I'll come back a couple of months later and all of a sudden I'll be able to find more information. That's because they're constantly updating the database. Okay, so just be aware of that, if at first you don't succeed, try again. So I'm going to press search to see what I can find for Martin Jennings. Okay, so a number of, and this is for those 3 counties. So Martin Jennings was married in Roscommon, Mayo, or Galway, and actually all of them show up in Roscommon, all the records. We have a civil marriage and church marriages for 2 Martin Jennings. One is 1867. That is definitely closer to the year that I'm looking for, since the daughter was born around, I believe, 1869. So 1885 is a little too late. So I'm going to take a look at the civil marriage and the church marriage. So whoever this individual was, it's possible that these 2 records are records of the same person getting married, that the person actually did their marriage civilly for the government and through the church. So let's go ahead and take a look at the civil record right here. There we go. I'm going to scroll up a bit. 18th of March, 1867. And his address is Mount Delvin. And there he is, Martin Jennings. Ellen Jennings is the woman that he married. And his father's name is Patrick Jennings. The wife's father's name is Thomas Jennings. The husband's mother is not recorded. The wife's mother is not recorded. But we have a witness, John Ruane, and Julia Feeney. I always make sure and write these names down. Never know when those names may pop up. It may be a baptismal for a child of potentially Martin and Ellen. And that's just another piece of information that connects all these people together. Okay, so genealogy is like doing a great big puzzle, and you're trying to fit that puzzle piece with the other puzzle piece. So Martin Jennings, Ellen Jennings, I know this is the correct marriage record, civil marriage record, because Martin Jennings was living in Mount Delvin in 1901. And so, again, that's a piece that fits with the other piece. We have a Jennings marrying a Jennings, and it takes place in Roscommon. Again, the other county. There's only 4 records and only 2 that take place right around the time period that I'm looking for, which is around 1867. So what I would do then, I would make sure and take a screenshot of this civil marriage record. I would then go ahead and go to my family tree wherever I happen to store it, and I would make sure and upload a copy of this record, this actual civil marriage record. Super important. Don't just put the date down, because if people are using your family tree wherever you happen to have it stored, it's good to show them the proof that you're just not coming up with these dates just off the top of your head, or you didn't just pick it from somebody else's family tree, okay? So please make sure and upload the original record so that if someone comes to your family tree and they take a look at it and they see a date and then they see an actual copy of a record, they're like, okay, this has been proven that this is accurate, that this date is accurate. Super important in order to make sure that what we put down on our family trees has been proven. Okay, so we saw a civil record, and we didn't have a mother's name, but we certainly had Patrick Jennings as a father's name. Now we have a marriage, church marriage, and let's see if we have the same date for this church marriage and the same people. 18th of March, 1867. All right, so we have Martin Jennings. He's Roman Catholic, and he's a bachelor. He was previously unmarried. She was previously unmarried. This is great when you are looking for somebody and their name is not popping up correctly. Oftentimes, it's really helpful to know that the person, whether that last name, Jennings is not her married name. We know that by looking here that she's a spinster. She was not married, okay? So Jennings was that, her birth name. Okay, so the same date, 18th of March, 1867, in Roscommon, and we have the father's name as Jennings, but they don't record the husband's father's first name and the wife's father's first name. Well, we're really happy that we have that civil record because that's where they put it. And then down here, John Ruane, we have the same man. Julie Tierney, different woman, is the witness, but I am very sure that this is the correct marriage record because it fits all the other pieces that I already know. So now I know that Martin Jennings married Eleanor Jennings on the 18th of March, 1867. He had a civil marriage ceremony and a church marriage ceremony, and his father's name is Patrick and her father's name is Thomas. So this just helps me now when I go back. I am going to now look for a birth record. Baptism. I know Martin's father's name. His last name is Jennings. His first name is Patrick. And I am going to look in the same 3 counties I did before, Roscommon and Galway and Mayo. I know it was around 1840. I am not going to put that down just because, let's see, you can do this if you would like, so plus or minus 5 years. I don't like to narrow it down necessarily. I like to see what my choices are. So that's the way I'm going. I search. And there we go. We have some church baptism, 1825, 1837. Okay, that's close to 1840. I'll look at that one. Then we have another one for Martin Jennings in 1842. That's a baptism, Roscommon. And another 1842 in Galway. All right, so let's take a look. Then we get into 1845. I'd take a look at this one too. So I would look at 37, 42, 42, and then 45. All right, let's take a look first. So Martin Jennings, 2M Ditch, Castlegar, and County Galway. Father Patrick, Mother Honor Allen. And then the Laughlins, Terrence and Mary, are witnesses there, the informants. Again, I would make a copy of this. I'd write this information down. It may be what I'm looking for. Let me go to the next one, which is 1842 in Roscommon. Martin Jennings, the 17th of October, 1842, County Roscommon. Father Patrick, Mother Mary. Darby Moore and Honor Moore are the informants. This one is a very good possibility. We're in the right county for sure. Right year range, about around 1840. We know the father's name is correct, Patrick Jennings. Again, the fact that there's a Darby and an Honor Moore could be very helpful in fitting another piece together. We do not have the surname of the mom. But again, I would make a copy of this one for 1842. Let's go to the next one, which is in County Galway, 1842. Martin Jennings, 17th of October, 1842. And then there's the address, and we have Patrick Jennings, Maria Jennings. All right. Now we have Darby and Honor again. Now this is the exact same date, October 17th, 1842, a Martin Jennings with a Patrick father, with Maria Jennings. They don't give us her maiden name, but her name is Maria. And we have the same informants. We have Darby and Honora. So why do we have a Galway, this is Galway, and the one previously, the exact same date, October 17th, 1842, in Roscommon? Let me go back. Same date, same people. Mary, Maria, everything that I don't, Balanakill and Kilbanet. I don't even know how to pronounce that. My apologies. I might have ruined that. But anyway, we have 2 records for the same child. This is a baptismal. I believe the other one in Galway, this one here, is another baptismal. Why is that? Well, I can tell you why. We have Galway and Roscommon are 2 counties that are right next to each other. So it's probable that this baptism took place at a church that kind of straddles both of them. this is basically the same record for the same child's baptism, but we have it in two different counties. So obviously they registered this baptism in both counties, both in Galway and Roscommon, because again, they're right next to each other. They share a border. All right, so then I go back and there's one more, the 1845 we're going to take a look at and see what we have. County Mayo, Patrick Jennings, Mary O'Boyle, Owen Gavin, and Mary Craven. Craven. So I'm going to tell you that the ones that 1842, Martin Jennings, this is the one that I would save as being my thought. This is probably the accurate birth record. I would definitely be looking at other ways to figure out how the Moores, both Darby and Honora, are connected with this family. If, for example, I'm doing research later on children of Martin Jennings and maybe his wife, Ellen, if we have some people with the last name Moore that are neighbors, maybe Martin Jennings has a brother or Patrick Jennings has a brother that's married to a Moore. I would definitely hold on to this record because I'm guessing that if this is the accurate one, and I believe it probably is, that I'm going to see the Moore's name pop up at some point in time. So again, this is one that I would save. I definitely put that as a possibility. I always have a file where I have possible records, and then as I found more information, I would be able to tell, especially by looking at some of these names down here, if this is the accurate record for the Martin Jennings that I'm looking for. Okay, so I've looked at the baptism, I have found marriage, and now I'm going to go ahead and look for a death record for Martin Jennings. Again, I know that he was alive in 1901, so any kind of a death record for him, it's going to be after 1901. I will look in Roscommon and Galway again. Again, in 1901, I do know he was living in Roscommon. So I'm going to go ahead and search for him. And I could put, let's see, 1901 plus or minus 10 years. Because he's not in the 1911 census, so I have to assume he has died. All right, 1894, I can tell you right off the bat that this isn't him because this man has died at the age of 53 in 1894. Whereas the Martin Jennings that I've been researching for the descendants, he is alive in 1901. So I was successful in finding a marriage record that I believe is the correct one. I have a possibility for the birth baptismal record, and I don't have anything for the death record. So this is one of those times I will keep coming back and doing more and more searching to check and see if the website has been updated because, like I said, they continually add more data. So then I'll just keep coming back and check and see if they have it there. I'll also look at other websites to find out if I can find any other information through them. And I will definitely be having a video about some of the other places, the other websites you can go to in order to find records that have to do with Ireland. So, thank you for watching. This is RootsIreland.ie, the subscription website, and looking up vital records. Stay tuned for more episodes on researching your Irish ancestors. This is Madonna. See you later.